What's up, fam? This is an issue that we all have, and there's a burning God where we feel something different. God may ask us to do something, but our feelings get in the way. So today in emotional intelligence, we are gonna discuss a passage of scripture where where you get your emotion out, but you still be obedient to God. Okay. Hello, family, and welcome to Read the Salagan Ministries. If you're new to this title, welcome. And I got my girl here, my wings, my pink
Hey
sense.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm a lover.
Watch out now.
You know how to say that. You can see the previous videos, emotional intelligence, on our playlist section about China praise. Okay, now on this month I have been talking about uh, the shield of faith, and sometimes our faith can affect what we are feeling. Sometimes what we are feeling gets in the way of our faith. Faith is a vehicle from the natural one to the spiritual one. But God has a message for you. He's trying to reveal something about Him to you is through your faith. But sometimes our emotions be like, no, shoot. you know? And so it has been the devil's strategy ever since Eve, to get Eve to focus on her emotions instead of what God said. Now I'm going through a process, and it's it's about my body, uh, and sometimes this body can because of the stroke, I have a lot to deal with, a lot of pain, a lot of frustration because of my pain. I can't do as much. So many he gives me instructions. Sometimes, sometimes my emotions be like, yeah, yeah. But obedience is uh, so important as a believer, because faith is not emotions. Faith is a decision. It's a choice. So I realized that my desire for Him was more important than what I felt. You know. What do you think about it?
I think that um, that's a good place to start. That in order to, I guess, overcome what you're feeling, God does have to be your number one desire.
Yeah,
You know, because that motivates you, that drives you to push beyond where you are.
yeah. It's like my pain and everything is there, but through the pain, I said, God, I trust you. I
Yes.
trust in everything that you told me.
Yes.
Your instructions is true. I have to say that to myself. And that faith is the substance of those things hoped for and evidence not seen. So I'm hoping for his process to work for me.
Yes.
I'm hoping, but I can't see it. And so enough, I sure enough can't feel it, but I believe it. And that's what this lesson is all about. Now, faith can affect your the emotions in two ways. It can affect the emotions so that the emotions are joyful, and but then it's the other side, and
Oh, you
that's
said joyful?
they're joyful,
Okay.
and the other side is what we're going to deal with today in our text, Psalms 42, and I'm going to start.
All right.
Okay,
Let's get into it.
uh, Psalms 42 1 through 42 verses 1 to 3. And reading the verse that stood out to me is the third verse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before I had this rule, my emotions was battling with what God had told me. Now, I acted on faith when I went full time, and I continue to act on faith. I to continue to get his precious. But my emotions were kind of rebelling, and I was eating unhealthy. I was doing some things that I shouldn't be doing, like watching porno movies and everything. My emotions that we you we are men and we don't have a dumb. I gotta bunch these kids. I gotta clean the house, and those things really what the way I was raised. I wasn't built for.
Mm-hmm.
But I I started to write music, and that was a way for me to keep my emotions up there. And I wrote a song based on 42, Psalms 42 and 3. Yeah, look, I'm gonna I'm gonna try to remember it. She knows.
Sometimes he forgets his words, but I think he gonna remember
Yeah,
this one.
she knows I'm terrible with words.
It's just a little challenge, when it comes to remembering words. But
Yeah, I love the song, right? And I still, oh, and but then he says, "But tell me, that's not the words."
but this is a song that you actually wrote.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So this is an original and Steve White original. Okay, my soul is empty from the pressures of this life. My tears have been ruffled, but they are not. Oh my God, quench my thirst for peace, peace from all my sins, and mercy for my mistakes. But even when I did that, I still couldn't get my emotions in check. That's because I didn't know how to put my emotions under the subjection of Jesus Christ. But now I know, and it's like you feel what you feel, but you have to go to God daily about what you feel. Yeah, so you have to talk to God daily. I did do that when I first started out to be full time. I then talk to Him about it, about what I was feeling. And Psalms 42 does that. Now, in verse 1 through 3, the thing that got me was this one verse. While I'm sitting at my tears, I pay my food, but then and then, guess what he said? He says, "Why they continually say to me, where is your God?" That is my emotions, and that's what gets us in trouble most of the time. We feel and say, "Where is God?" what he doing? Shoot, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna do this. I'm paying him no mind. I got this. That's what I used to do. But I had to turn one and one and say, Lord, forgive me. Yeah. So your desire for God has to be more important than what you feel, and that's a choice. That's a choice to believe in God because I'm your desire. Yeah. So I that's my point. That guru.
Yeah, this is such a good topic about faith and our emotions, and I'm gonna come from the verses 4 through 6, and the verse that really stood out to me was when David says, "Oh, I'm reading from the New King James Version." But I encourage y'all to go back and read the whole entire Psalm
Yeah.
42.
Yeah.
Why are you cast down, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? And he says, hope in God. And the first thing really that stood out to me that David did, which I believe we don't really do as believers,
Yeah.
but I think that a part of our faith gives us the courage to investigate the why. We don't often actually take the time to
Yeah.
ask the question. David asked two questions. He began to investigate what he was
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first question he asked was, why is my soul cast down? Which, in other words, is why am I sad? Why am I depressed?
Yeah.
Why am I feeling the way that I feel? And so faith gives you the courage to do that. You
Yeah.
have to go back and ask the why. It's not that you have faith so that you just disregard or
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Disregard or ignore
Yeah.
what you are feeling. You have to ask why. You have to begin to address that. And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't want to do that. We rather run away from it, ignore it, push it down, and that that is not going to be healthy in the long run.
Yo.
He asked, why is he sad or depressed? And then he said, why is my soul disquieted within me?
Oh. Ooh. That. Ooh.
What does disquieted mean? Now, this is deep.
Yeah.
It just means that your soul not quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So even though you might not be saying anything,
Yeah.
guess what? Your soul is crying out.
Screaming.
Screaming. Your
Yeah.
soul is just in torment because you're ignoring what you're feeling,
Yeah.
right? And for me, I remember when I was about 19 years old and I had an abortion. And this was one of the first times that I just really felt so far from God. I felt I just couldn't feel him. And
Yeah.
it wasn't because he wasn't there. He still loved me the same. He still, thought I was, his daughter and loved me. But because of my own guilt, I just felt so far away from God.
Yeah.
But I didn't take the time to investigate. I didn't go back and say, why am I feeling this way? And
Yeah.
I've always been a worshiper since I was a little girl. And at that time, that was one of the first times I felt like I couldn't worship, like I couldn't connect with
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taught to have faith, that my faith could give me the strength and the courage to
Yeah.
actually talk to God about what I was feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the main point that I want you all to get. Use your faith to actually ask the questions. Use your faith to
Yeah.
start the process of healing. Don't just ignore what you feel and push it down.
Now, Psalms 42, 7 through 10 speaks of the psalmist's turmoil. Turmoil. and yeah, that's why I'm. See, that's why I've been doing to the last 20 years. It's turmoil. I mean, I have my moments. I'm still happy, I'm joyful because I knew that I was doing the real I'm gone. And my family, I gotta dive into my boys and, Denise.
Me.
Yeah. Oh,
Stay
come on,
focused.
come
Stay
on.
focused.
But, they had me through it. But the seventh verse of it says something. It's a deep calls unto deep, and the noise of your waterfalls. All your waves and billows have gone over me. And it made me think of when I was 8 or 9 years old. I went to Ocean City with my family to the beach. And I had a, a vibe and I had streamed the time to my uncle and always ride the waves in. I go out there, turn in mine and the wave
So
and so
adventurous.
but I was going too far out and the waves were a whole lot bigger.
Wow.
And this one wave, huge wave, and I thought that I said, "Oh, this is gonna make a last ride," but it fell before I could turn around and ride it.
Wow.
So the water overcame me, and I was in the water, oh, tapping and everything. And then when I got close to the shore, I still had that water like from the waves. I had someone all in my eyes. I had so much sand in my trunks. I had to uh, dip that in the water and pull my pants off, my trunks off, and did I this. And I was walking back to get my towel. And while I was walking back, shoot, my emotions, oh man, let me do that again. I don't like this. I don't like the seawater. This is messed up. Shoot, I was trying to have fun, and it did this to me, and I was just going through different things. And when I got to my town, my dad, he came over and he started smoothing cat you ever meet. He came over to me. He didn't run because when it's one space, oh, you're under the other, he walked. That's how calm he is. He walked. He came me. He said, "Son, are you alright?" I said, "Yeah." I was mad. I was mad that that wave overcame me. I said, "Yeah." And then he said, "Okay, son, next time, stay closer to the shore and you won't get overwhelmed like that."
Wow.
And at that point, I thought, okay, then I can still do what I was doing. So I went back and have fun. But for an instant, the waves wasn't as fun. That's because I'm like one experience. What have you experienced that made you not want to do what God says ever again? And sometimes we take it upon ourselves to steal His lordship because He let us down that time,
Well, we think he let us
and we
down.
think He let us down. Yeah. So but the eighth verse really got to me. It said, "The Lord will command His loving kindness and the Gentile, and then let His sons and be with you." According to God, my life, that desire is so important. So when I was young, and I had the experience, but my dad, who's a shadow of the Lord, because the Lord is like that. He's very calm, and He will come to you. He will ask you, "Are you all right?"
Mm-hmm.
Even though He knows,
Yeah.
but He asks, "Are you all right?" Because He wants you to give God what you feel. So if you go to God and give Him what you feel, it'll be all right. Now, I said it will be all right because your mom will have a direction. So you will have a direction for talking to God. Because my father, he said, next time, do this. And I was able to enjoy the rest of my time on the beach. So when you talk to God, give Him emotions to God, He set you in the right direction. Then that doesn't mean you don't feel like that no more. I in this situation I'm going through, I still feel it, but I know I'm going the direction that He wants me to go. And to think about it, if I complete the task that He gave me, I will be blessed. That's the thing. Believers don't think that obeying God will bring blessings. I don't know why they do that. I
Yeah,
don't.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, see, I'm gonna do my thing than to do that. But if you do that, you will be blessed. You actually missing on a blessing. So for me right now, I don't know what this practice is going to do for me, but I trust Him, and that's where your faith comes in. My hope is in Him, not me or my perspective of the situation. It's Him,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
So, Dojo.
Well, you talked about hope, and that's the next point I want to talk about. Um, David, I love David because he was just so real and honest. He
Yeah,
was so raw with what he was feeling.
yeah,
But his faith was still strong in spite of what in the midst of what he was feeling.
yeah,
And I think that's the part that allows us to have balance in our emotions is our
yeah,
faith. Because even though he repeated the question, he said it up in verses 4 through 6. And then he repeated it in verse 11. He was asking again. He said, "Why is my soul cast down? Like, what
yeah,
is going on with me? What's
yeah,
really going on?" But then he said, "Hope in God." And so, even in the midst of that, our faith gives us the ability to hope,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And hope is having that expectancy, as you were saying, that even though I feel this way,
yeah,
that God is still God, and God will still do what He said He was going to do.
yeah,
And my obedience, like you said, it will still bring me the blessings of God.
yeah,
You know, my obedience gives me the peace of God. It gives me,
yeah,
clarity. It gives me direction. So to have hope in the midst when you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling not sure that things are going to work out, hope is just important,
yeah,
because your hope also deals with your trust. You
yeah,
can't hope, I can't hope that you're going to be a good husband to me if I don't trust you.
yeah,
you know. So it's the same way with God. When we lose trust with God, we lose our expectancy, right?
Yeah.
We don't hope anymore. You know, those things that, God gives us dreams, He gives us visions, things that He wants us to do in the earth. But
Yeah.
sometimes if you get lost in how you feel and what's going on in the moment, you'll start losing your hope that, man, this dream ain't never gonna come true.
Yeah. Yeah.
This promise, man, I used to believe, but now I don't believe anymore.
Yeah.
And the other part that David was a worshiper. Even in the midst of all of this, he made a decision. Even while he was feeling like
Yeah.
this, he said, "For I shall yet praise him." And he said that he he is the help of my countenance and my God. The King James version says he is the health of my countenance. And so David made a decision that even though I'm feeling this way, I still have to worship. And sometimes that's not always easy.
No.
So, but what you have to do is get your mind off of you. Worship is remembering who God is,
Is. Yeah.
right? And so the more that we begin to remember like who God is, I mean the essence of who he is. Like he's
Yeah.
not a liar.
No.
He's holy.
Yeah.
Everything he says is true,
Yeah.
right? And remember the things that he brought you out of before, right? You begin to take the focus off of what you're feeling and begin to put your focus on who God is.
Yeah.
That gives you strength to come out of the emotions that you're
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
If you're feeling doubtful, right? If you're feeling like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you start worshiping and just remembering who God is, it gives you strength. And David said, it changed my countenance, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're going through, that thing will show up on your face,
Shoot.
right? If you try to hide it, but those who really know you,
Yeah.
and even if you hide it
Shoot.
from people, you can't hide it from God.
Yeah.
So David said
Shoot.
worship changed the look on his face, like
Yeah.
looking sad, depressed, or whatever.
Yeah.
God was the health of his countenance. So remember you have to hope and you have to still continue to worship.
Uh, baby, you do remember that time? You remember I had a studio in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was very late at night, and I was singing this song. I forgot it. Oh, oh Lord, here I am. I was seeking Him and say, "Hey, I'm here. Come see about me." Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you talk about pouring my heart out. Yeah, to sing that song. But you have to have hope. I hope that everyone is honest with themselves and just take on whatever you are feeling. And that's what I'm learning to do. Just sticking to Him.
Yes.
Before this does the work, I didn't do that. After that stroke, shoot, I'm with the God. I'll go to the God for everything. And I've grown since I had the stroke until now. My relationship with Him has gotten stronger and stronger because I go to Him and say, God, my tears have been my food both day and night. And so I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please like and share with your family, friends, co-workers, and even the boss. And comment below because we want to know your perspective. We want to know what you think about this election. And then email us if you have any questions at preacher1473 at manofgodnsc.com. And please subscribe to our channel with the Desire God Ministries and hit the little bell. Boop. So you will be notified of new videos. Man, I love you.
I love you all too.
She loved you. And but God bless you, and we will see you the next time. Peace.